DGCA has cautioned airlines over B737 aircrafts. The regulator has warned the airlines of jammed rudder control. Regulator has warned of jammed rudder control in the Boeing airlines. Well, DGCA has told the airlines that they must conduct the risk assessment. All right, I'm being told that Vishnu Shom, my colleague, is also now joining us on the broadcast here on this important bit of news that we're getting at this point in time. Vishnu, go ahead.
All right, let me explain to you in simple terms what this is. Now, the aviation regulator in our country, excuse me, is the Directorate General of Civil Aviation, the DGCA. They have announced a caution to all airlines in India operating the Boeing 737 aircraft. This is all series of the Boeing 737. And the Indian operators of the Boeing 737 include Akasa, include Air India Express, and include SpiceJet. There are dozens of Boeing 737 aircraft in the country. It's been a legacy type which has been operated in this country. And there is now a worry, a safety concern, which the DGCA has flagged, the regulator has flagged, involving components of the rudder. The regulator is warned of a potentially jammed or restricted rudder control system. What is a rudder? A rudder is a primary flight control system. It enables movement of the aircraft around its axis. It is attached to the tail assembly of the aircraft. And as a result of this caution, the Directorate General of Civil Aviation has told all Boeing 737 operators in the country to conduct a safety risk assessment and to immediately seize certain types of instrument landing system landings. In other words, when the weather is bad, Kitty, pilots often rely on their navigation, their equipment, and are assisted to a great extent to make safe landings possible. But in this particular case, instrument landing system landings under category 3B, which is a fairly advanced system which is used when there's very poor visibility, has been restricted for the moment by the regulator. So that impacts some operations in poor weather conditions. But bottom line is the regulator saying that they're worried about potentially jammed or restricted rudder control systems. They've alerted Indian Airlines, and they're doing this after an international caution was sounded.
Okay, and which are the airlines, you know, if I may ask you here, which are the airlines other than Akasa who also operate the Boeing 737 series aircraft?
Air India Express, SpiceJet, and Akasa is what I recall off the top of my head. I did speak to the Directorate General of Civil Aviation, asking them whether this was specific to the Boeing 737 MAX aircraft or legacy variants of the Boeing 737. He said potentially all variants of the Boeing 737. This is important, Kitty, because as you know, the MAX 8 aircraft or the MAX aircraft, which is a variant of the Boeing 737, has been in the news lately for several reasons. But this is a safety concern impacting all variants of the Boeing 737 family of aircraft.
All right, that's the big breaking news now coming in at this point in time. We're learning the DGCA has cautioned these airlines that include Air India Express, SpiceJet, and Akasa that are operating Boeing 737 series aircraft, and they've been asked to conduct a safety risk assessment. Well, all Indian Boeing 737 operators must seize some type of instrument landing. That is what has been told, and as my colleague Vishnu has been explaining to us here, that the safety concern here in these jetliners include the components of rudder. The regulator has warned of potentially jammed or restricted rudder control system here in the Boeing 737 jetliners. So this is the big bit of information, big breaking news that's coming in. Now we are learning now Air India Express, SpiceJet, and Akasa that operate Boeing 737 series aircraft have been told by the DGCA, that's the Indian Aviation Regulator, that a safety risk assessment of all Indian Boeing 737 operators have been told that safety risk assessment must be carried out as soon as possible.